Hi everyone, so today I wanted to do a video on one of the ships that I currently have as a loaner, the Drake Buccaneer. But before I start, I just want to remind everyone that I'm currently running a giveaway. More details are in the description, but all you have to do to enter is subscribe and comment on one of my videos. So thanks for all the support recently, and let's get started. So if you're not familiar with the Buccaneer, it's Drake's fighter, and I'd say it falls in the medium fighter category. It's not super popular for PvP, but I personally like it just because the design reminds me of an X-Wing, except it's a bit stubby, So like I said, it's not very often used in dogfighting, and a lot of that comes down to its flimsiness. That's its major flaw. So I've got some good examples of that in this video, but this is a big issue because you can see here with the stock setup, each wing has 2 guns on it, and if you've ever fought a Buccaneer, you know that these wings come off really easily. So even though there's that massive size 4 hardpoint up top, that's a lot harder to lose, it's still really easy to lose a lot of your firepower from small amounts of damage knocking your wings off. This problem is similar to one of the Hornet's bigger flaws, but it's even more pronounced on this ship because you lose 2 guns instead of 1, and it's a lot flimsier than the Hornet, which is a pretty durable ship. However, it's got quite a bit of firepower, and considering that NPCs don't really hit you that frequently, it's quite a good PvE ship. And another one of its strengths currently is its speed in a straight line. The maneuvering isn't that bad, but its massive thrusters make things really fast in a straight line. Although there's a chance that that might change because 3.10 is going to make it so that there's a reason to stay within SCM speeds during combat, and that might take away the ship's advantage because this doesn't have a very high SCM speed. Its SCM speed is 210 meters per second, and that's slower than a lot of the faster fighters, but its top speed and afterburner is 1300, and that's one of the faster ships in the game. So we'll just have to see what the update changes and how that affects this ship. So another thing that 3.10 might change about this ship is the effectiveness of the default loadout. So stock, this comes with all fixed weapons, and right now this is quite hard to use. I did a bit of combat with the stock loadout just to see what it was like, and the answer is not that great. It shreds through these larger ships like Constellations, but against anything more maneuverable than that, it's really hard to hit your target. And this is made even harder by the ship's resistance to make small pitch and yaw adjustments. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I can't ever seem to smoothly get it to move just a few degrees. It either doesn't move or goes way too far, so it's hard to make those small adjustments you need to hit your target. But you can see from this massive damage output that the ship has potential with a different loadout, or possibly in 3.10 without even changing the stock loadout, because there's some leaks about changes to fixed weapons, and they're saying that they're possibly going to add some small amount of aim assist and changes to pip calculation, and that should hopefully make the pips a bit less jumpy so it's easier to stay on target, and that slight bit of assist will be able to help you aim a little bit more. If they don't make fixed weapons viable though, it would be nice if they changed the stock loadout on the Buccaneer, because it would save users a lot of money since you pretty much have to change it out. Alright, so now we're going to get into the loadouts. So this is the stock loadout, and you can see it has a lot of DPS, but it's not really that useful since you can't really land much of it on the target. So this is the loadout that I ended up going with. I basically just switched out everything for the CF series laser repeaters, just because that's my personal favorite to use, but that did mean I had to spend even more to upgrade the coolers and power unit, since energy weapons draw more power and create more heat. And yeah, I didn't think I was going to have to change out the stock power unit, but I wanted to warn you guys that this happened to me when I didn't. And yeah, even though it says that you're below the limit, I guess you want to have more headroom so that you don't run out of power generation and accidentally shut down your ship. Another option though, if you want to spend less and don't mind having limited ammo, is all gimbaled ballistic gatlings or ballistic cannons. But I wanted to use this setup to be able to do back-to-back NPC combat missions, and not having to restock makes that a whole lot easier. So like usual, I'll have the site linked below, and I recommend you using the feature that adds all the non-stock items to your cart so you can have an idea of how much it'll cost you and where all the parts are located. So for the parts for my build, everything was either at Area 18, except for one part that was at Everest Harbor, and I spent a bit under 100k to get everything upgraded. Unlike some of the upgrades I've done recently though, this one was definitely worth it. So here's me doing some combat with it, with this all gimbaled setup, and you can see that damage output was never really the issue. Even with all the weapons down one size, this thing still shreds through small ships, and can still even make quick work of the bigger ships like Constellations. Just for reference, this setup is only about 200 DPS lower than what a Super Hornet has, so it's pretty good. If you're a Buccaneer owner, I would 100% recommend you switch to a gimbaled setup, at least in this version of Star Citizen, because it makes the ship so much better. It is still flimsy though, as you can see here when I accidentally got out because I was trying to chat with someone in Global, and I instantly lost a wing when one of the NPCs started shooting at me. But as long as you don't get hit, it's a great ship. So to wrap this up, I would definitely recommend switching out the stock setup if you already have a Buccaneer. But if you're gonna buy a fighter in game, I would probably look elsewhere, especially if you intend to do any PvP. It's just too easy to lose parts or just flat out die with this ship, and there's better options. So if you want just a solid fighter, the Saber is a much better option for a few 100,000 more credits. And if you want a light fighter, the Gladius is cheaper and much better for that role. But if you have a Buccaneer as a loner or for whatever reason, and it's collecting dust because you tried it with the stock setup and didn't like it, you might want to give a different loadout a try, because it's actually a pretty decent little ship, especially for PvE. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you have anything you'd like to see me do a video on, be sure to put it in the comments. I'm really looking forward to 3.10, which will hopefully be coming in just a few weeks, but I've gone through a lot of the stuff that's currently in the game, so I'll have to start looking at more specific subjects to make videos on until it comes out. So remember to enter the giveaway if you want to, and thanks for watching.